You have said that everyone needs funk in their life, and I'm curious, what what does funk give to you?
Funk is a whole lot of joy, you dig? It's nothing but a good time and happiness. So when you have funk in your life, you have everything you need. You know, you're full of life. Funk is everything, man. So once you have it, you ain't gonna lose it, and you ain't gonna want to lose it. It's everything you need.
Is that what drives you? Because you're known for having, not just passion for the music, but just this positive vibe that you give off from the stage, from your recordings. Is that what motivates you?
Definitely, man. It's definitely what motivates me. Even during this time, I'm very anxious right now. This whole coronavirus ordeal and everybody being quarantined has me on edge. But the thing that brings some type of normalcy to my life is when I'm able to get into my driveway, as as unnormal as that is,
Yeah.
um, and get to perform a little bit. And it's weird even just performing just to a camera, but when we get to like release, our musical thoughts and get our creative juices flowing, man, it just helps. It's therapeutic in so many ways. It's ridiculous, And even like once we're done, I'm kind of back on edge a little bit. I'm like, man, like I'm just this is like nerve wracking, you dig? But to be able to hook up with my cats and like play, even if it's 30 minutes, it brings joy to to me, to my family, the whole neighborhood. Everybody come out, and they stay 6, 10 feet apart, within the social distancing rules, and everybody, have a good time.
Yeah, because I've been watching because you've been doing these live streamed shows, usually kind of a Sunday brunch deal
Yeah,
is what you bill it as, and from the driveway of your house, but everyone's all spread out
right,
and
spaced
not
out,
not
right.
violating any kind of rules, and and that's interesting you say that because I wondered um, how much of it is for the audience and how much of it is for you guys.
It's both, man, because people need music in these times. Like there's nothing you can't watch your favorite show on TV because there aren't any new episodes coming on unless you're watching reruns, um, or you haven't gotten a chance to see it yet. You can't go to a concert. You can't go out in public and like have a good time for real. So one like us bringing music to the block and to our fans all over the world and gaining new fans from it. Um, is very uplifting for us and for the people. You dig? Um, and especially like when I go back and I read all the comments and everybody saying how we've made their day and we've lifted their spirits and things like that. That makes me feel so much better too. Not that I make them feel good, but to know that you know that everybody's just enjoying the music and it's not us that's just like feeling this feeling this type of way during these times. You dig? So
Yeah.
it definitely helps all of us too, and then it helps us too. I mean, of course, people send in donations. So being self-employed and been playing music for 24 years, man. I mean, of course, when people send tips and donations, that helps. So that makes us feel better too.
Yeah.
But monetary donate. Hey, we take it all, anything from a dime to $1 billion.
Right.
But but every single penny counts, man. It all adds up, and we're very appreciative of it. And that brings on another type of joy because we can buy groceries, so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
cool. So we
Now,
love it
the
all.
other aspect I was curious about, because you're also known for having these very interactive shows. Many
Whew.
people call them experiences
Yeah,
more than concerts. And so I'm wondering, in this big shift, and because there's still energy emanating through the camera,
yeah,
how do you get up that energy when you cannot see or hear your audience?
it's hard, man. It's hard. Like typically, even now, like up to this day, once I start, I'm a little anxious, and then as the longer we play, the more comfortable I get, and I realize what it is, and then we just kind of like by the end of the set, we're just like unleashing it, like take this, take that, it's like that kind of a deal. Um, but if you go back to the very first one, man, before I even like had a microphone up, the first one I did, we had no mic. I was like, we'll just do a little something. We'll just play a little bit, do all instrumentals. But then I ended up trying to like sing some stuff. That didn't really work out.
Hmm.
It was cool and people loved it and they sent donations. Hey, we got to get a mic for you next time. I said, okay, I'll set up a mic. So then I set up one mic, and I just have two mics, and I had two speakers. So like now it sounds good. People can like really hear it. But if you go back to that first one and check out the growth from the first one to now, you'll still see that I'm a little like I feel like I'm not myself at the very beginning.
Mm.
But then even as you go on to now, you see we get a little bit more comfortable playing for the camera, although it's still very weird and I'm still a little bit uncomfortable at the beginning of it. But
Hmm.
but our shows are very interactive and it's I'm like somebody made some noise. I'm like looking at the at the camera
Yeah.
like and I go back and I see the comments, people like, woo, making noise, makes noise, hands in the air. I'm like, all right, cool, I dig it. So to know that they're there at the end of it, is pretty hit, man. I love them to death.
Yeah, and New Orleans in particular is known for using music to as expression, happiness, sorrow,
Yeah,
processing of emotions. One of your more recent ones, you did, you know, a kind of a makeshift second line for Ellis Marsalis,
yeah.
where in normal times that would have been a humongous
It would have
deal.
been a huge ordeal, man. We would have been all out in the streets the day he passed away. We all would have been out in the streets celebrating his life. You did, and then once the ceremony came around, we would have second lined again to send him on home. The proper way. The way we do it in New Orleans, and the way we
Mm.
do it. As with that video, we start off with a dirge. Close walk with you or something like that, and then we mourn and then we celebrate. We celebrate their life and they're moving on, and we make a party out of it, and that's how we do it in New Orleans. You did, but
Yeah.
during these times, man, we weren't able to do that like completely and fully. So as far
Well, that
as
makes me
me and my
wonder, like,
crew,
yeah, how much of it did it meet your need to grieve, to say goodbye?
personally, for me, it did just because I know he's in a better place. I mean, he had been going through things for a while, and everybody kept saying he was on his last leg, just like back when Art Neville passed away. Everybody thought 4 or 5 years before he passed, they thought he was about to go, like and he held on for like another 5 years. We're like, good, we're loving it. We need you here. We need those cats, man. And when we lose them, it's just that devastating of a hit to the community as well as the
Mm.
musical world, man. But I got what I needed out of it, and I hope everybody else did too. You know, um,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, just to get that expression out, man. It helps. It helps in every way.
Mm. And New Orleans also in particular is known for bouncing back after difficult times. Example, the most obvious example being Katrina
Katrina,
and
yeah.
how you and the city, were reborn after, that hellish experience. I'm
Right.
curious, what did you learn from that that maybe the rest of the country can take to heart as they deal with this COVID crisis?
You got to hang in there and do whatever you got to do to help rebuild your city. You dig? But be smart about it. Like during Katrina, it was one thing. We all lost our houses and everything. Everything just the city was like non-existent. It wasn't here. If you came into the city, it smelled like death. And it was a ghost town. Nobody was here. That was one thing. And then dealing with everything during Katrina, with people being killed and being everybody being shoved into the convention center and stuff like that. That was a whole nother ordeal. You did, but
Mm.
for this type of situation, everybody just need to be smart about it. Like if you go into public spaces, wear your mask, wash your hands consistently. Everything that the news is already telling you that you already know, just be smart about it and be considerate. Don't be like, oh, well, I'm okay, I don't have nothing. But what about the next person? You might pass it on to them. So just be smart about it and do whatever you got to do to help rebuild your city, your town, wherever you are. But don't be dumb and try to move too soon. You dig? Like once, wait till wait till you get that okay and everybody's feeling good about it. Like we had zero deaths in New Orleans from coronavirus yesterday,
Oh,
so that is huge. That one day now, that doesn't mean we need to go out and party our asses out. We still
all
need
right.
to we still need to stay put and wait till this thing really blows over. So they extended our stay home mandate until May 15th. And I personally feel like in real life, man, we're all going to end up waiting until the summer. Summer is over. Um, and as far as me, like I've lost work everything from March through June right now. So we're going to be
Yeah.
streaming for a while.
Yeah.
We're going to be streaming for a while. But yeah, but cats just got to be smart about it, man, and do whatever, remain resilient and vigilant, and do whatever you have to do to help rebuild your city. Um, and be smart about it. Don't do anything stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. And then have you been writing music during this time?
Yeah, a lot, a
Ah,
lot. Yeah, this time right here, man, and it's kind of like forcing me to like record myself consistently too, you know. So I'm doing
mhm.
like so many tracks for other people. I'm writing a lot right now. Working on a song right now that I'm actually probably going to try to get out very soon. I just got the idea last night though, so I'm like making
Okay.
all the phone calls. Like, man, how can you do it? All right, I need somebody to mix it. Okay, I need somebody to master it. Okay, I got to get these backup singers to get up on it, to make it what I want it to
Yeah.
be. But yeah, man, I'm writing and recording a lot right now. So if nothing else, after all this is over, you're gonna have a whole lot of new music from everybody.
And so is that, I mean, because you talk about the band, backup singers, et cetera, is that everyone recording remotely and then it all
Yeah,
sticks
exactly.
together? Okay.
That's the thing. So I need to lay the foundation down and be like, okay, this is what's this. Okay, this is this part, and I probably do horns last actually. But once I lay down the foundation, send it off to everybody else and let them do their own parts. Because
Mhm.
I can fake a bass line or drums or whatever, but it's not going to have that real effect. You dig?
Yeah.
So once those cats come in, they're going to put their flavor on it, and they'll make it work. It's a good song.
Well, that made me wonder because, with your band and with a lot of funk bands, the bass is way more prominent than it is in other
Yeah.
styles of music. A lot of times even in rock, it's more in the background. But with
Yep.
funk, it's right up front. It takes a lead, and so I'm curious how much of the bass um, do you write, and how much of it is brought by your bass player?
It's actually 50-50, actually. Because even if I have, like, say, like Pochop, I brought in Pochop and I was like, okay, so this is the bass line. Boom, 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 boom. Below that, boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
boom, 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 boom. And then, he was like, and once we put the lyrics and everything together, he felt like he was getting in the way. The bass line was getting in the way. So I said, all right, well, let's figure something else out. So it became boom, 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 and it just worked. So like that's how we come together with things. I'm not that cat that's gonna be like, nah, this is the way I wrote it. That's it.
Yeah.
Like play this, ain't nothing else. I want to hear what else. I want to hear the other cat's ideas. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I don't want their ideas and creativity to be suppressed because I want what I want to be played. Nah, I want all of us to be comfortable and have fun playing what we're playing. So if I don't like it, that's one thing. But if I dig it, then cool. Let's roll with it.
And I think it also says something to how you guys work as a group that, and I'm sorry, I can't think of your bass player's name right now.
Oh, Jerry, you call him Jay Black.
Jay Black,
Yeah, you're right.
that he did not have the ego that he said, I worry I'm stepping on the vocals a little bit. you
Yeah,
know
right.
I mean, because that's a mark of a humble musician who says,
Yeah,
no, I should fade back a little bit more at this point. And
exactly.
I think it's a great example of why you guys are a band and a cohesive unit and not just a front man with a bunch of side musicians.
Exactly, exactly. And from day one, like no matter who's in my band at the time, I always tell them, I say, look, it's Big Sam's Funk Nation, and yeah, I have the last say so, but I always want to take your thoughts and feelings and everything into consideration. It's not just me. You dig what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and with that, I ask cats for loyalty. I'm like, look, if you want to be in this band, like commit. Like, we have shows, make sure you're there. And I can say for the past at least like 8 years, man, I've been having like a consistent lineup. Like once the guys are there, they're there. If they're not there, they're there. But it's rare that somebody will miss a gig because they have another gig with somebody else or something like that. I mean, I don't think it's actually ever happened in the past 8 years or so. But yeah, it's rare. Maybe like
Yeah.
once or twice a year somebody might miss a gig, but it's not something that's common because we're a band, we're a unit. If I don't feel comfortable doing a certain gig, I'm gonna be like, well, you know what? You go ahead and do your thing. I ain't tripping. We're not doing our gig, you know.
Yeah.
And then, you know, especially if I can't find a sub. But if it's like a club gig or something, I might find a sub. If it's a pretty big time gig, I'm not about to just bring anybody out.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And then, so that makes me wonder, what instrument do you usually use when you're writing songs?
Oh well, I just use a MIDI keyboard. You know, you get the keyboard and you can like play everything straight there. You know, so it's a little keyboard, small piano, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Hook it up to your computer, and whatever program you're using, you can just play the bass line. You play the drums. You can play keyboards, guitar, whatever you want from there. You know, so I do that to get my idea across, and the whole concept. And I say, okay, okay, cool, Cass, let's work on this. Let's get it out there. And then
Mm-hmm.
they'll say, okay, how about this? I might be like, okay, yeah, but try this, and we go back and forth, and then we all figure it out, and hey, there it is.
Okay. All right. Because, I
Yeah,
mean, because
it's
your
all
main,
teamwork.
yeah, but also
you
just
know,
because your main instrument is the trombone. And,
right, right,
it's not one of those, it's not like a guitar where like, okay, here we can lay down a full song. It
nah,
just doesn't seem like you could do that with a trombone, but I don't know. You've done more with
right.
the trombone than I thought possible. So maybe you could.
Now I have done that before. I've like sat down and like laid down individual parts where I'm like, okay, here's the horn parts, trumpet, you go
Mhm.
play this, and I put it all on the horn. Drum, I might just sing the drum like,
Mhm.
whatever, and I could like play the bass line on my horn by, okay, something like this. Let's get it. Let's figure it out. Just depend on if I have access to my MIDI keyboard or not. If not, then I might just sing all the parts. And send a voice memo like, hey, you play this, you play that. All right,
Wow.
let's
Okay.
roll.
Wow.
Yeah,
And what drew you to the trombone? Because that's not a typical lead singer's instrument, I would say.
yeah. Well, when I was in school and needed something to play, nobody else wanted to play. So I was trying to get in the marching band, and the band director said, well, what you want to play? And I said, well, whatever you need somebody on. He was like, the trombone. And I said, what's that? So ever since then, I've been playing the trombone. And I did been dabbing on, trumpet and drums, piano, sousaphone, all that stuff. But trombone is my main instrument.
Yeah. And so, now that you've become adept at using all these different instruments, but you've still stuck with the trombone as your main one.
My main instrument,
What
yeah.
what is it about that keeps you coming back, that ties you to it so completely?
It's so gritty, man. Like, well, especially where I play, it's just gritty and raw. And have it's a unique instrument. You have that slide action. The closest thing to a trombone, well, two things. You either have a human's voice, or you can have like a slide guitar or pedal steel, something like a lap steel. Like it's all very similar, and I love pedal steel is my favorite instrument. Then the slide guitar, then the trombone. But I don't have the coordination to play the guitar like the way that they play it. So I'm like, man, forget this, man. Y'all, I hate all y'all, you know. But I mean, yeah, that's my favorite instrument, like overall.
Hmm.
But the trombone, man, is just so gritty, and it has that slide action, so close to the human's voice. I just love it.
Hmm. That's interesting. No, I've never, because I've never thought of it as a gritty instrument, but now that I'm kind of mentally going back through the songs, it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, all right,
yeah,
yeah.
it's pretty. I mean, it could be mellow and everything else too, but the way I approach it is pretty gritty.
Hmm.
you know, yeah.
And then, you know, with your live performances, you're so often going back and forth between vocals, trombone,
And
and
dancing.
yeah, and dancing. How does that play out in the recording studio? Do you lay down the trombone track and the vocal at the same time,
Nah, nah,
or?
nah, nah, nah. I used to try to do that, but I can't do that. That shit is ridiculous. When I didn't know any better, I was trying that. But no, it's so I'll go in, I'll lay the horns down, and I have to like try my best not to like dance all over the place because it's not just for show. I'm always dancing anyway. So it's just me. So I'm in the studio. I'm like, all right, cool, and I'm feeling it. I lay some horns down. And when it's time to sing, I go into the booth and I lay down the vocals too, without, you know. like trying to move all over the place. I'm trying to like see how you're sitting at that mic. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, let me sit
Right.
here and not move. They're like, Sam, you're too far away from the mic. You got to get closer. Oh man, all right, cool. I got to get back. Stop moving. All right, let's go. Nah, but it's cool, man. But yeah, I got to do them completely separate now. And
Hmm.
even with the horns, I like to do the horns together live, and then separate us and do individual parts too. You know, so we
Oh,
can get like that extra fatness during the recordings.
okay.
You know,
Okay.
yeah, like you hear all over songs in the key of funk. I end up just calling it sick cough. Songs in the key of funk. But yeah, if you check out all of the songs on there, man, you hear the horn parts, everything from For the Funk, Looking Glass, um,
Apple
Buzzing,
pie.
yeah, Apple Pie, all of those songs, man. Yeah, it's nice and fat.
Mm.
Yeah,
And there's always been a kind of percussiveness about your lyrics. You know,
yeah,
it's like the vocals are not just vocals with Big Sam songs. They're instruments in their own right, it seems, you know,
yeah.
and often kind of a percussive thing. It, which leads me to ask, how often do you choose lyrics based on how they sound more than even what they mean?
I don't. It just comes
Okay.
however it comes. Yeah, it just comes however it comes. And I think it has to do with one, me liking to dance a lot, and just the way I feel it. You know, um, a lot of see, I don't consider myself a real singer, but a lot of real singers, they would go into the studio and lay down their vocals, and
Right.
like it'll just be clean. You know, but I mean, when I'm in a studio, if I'm feeling, I'm like, so like Paradise. Um, I forgot my damn song. How did it go? It's like a paradise. So I'm saying it's like a paradise, but the words are it's like paradise. But I'm saying
Yeah.
it's like a paradise. Just that it's just where just how I feel. It's like a paradise, and they're like, oh,
Hmm.
and they were like, Sam, stop saying that part because it sounds like you saying I'm like, but that's how I feel it. It just sounds crazy without me
Yeah.
saying it. So it's just the way I approach. It's like James Brown, you know, got to get on good foot, ta, you
Yeah.
know. So, so like, and I kind of like, I mean, I listen to James so much, Prince and all those cats, Mars at
Yeah.
the time, Gap Band. I kind of just have that in what I do now. Like, not even intentionally, it just happens now. You know, like I start out like, oh, I got to get that. Oh, I like how you work, like how you worded that. So it just comes
Hmm.
out now, no matter what we do.
Yeah, because I was reading in an interview that you talked about how you really love the playfulness and kind of the sense of humor that are found within lyrics by Prince, by Morris Day, and
Yeah,
that people don't always appreciate, you know, the humorous aspect, you know, that they can have to their lyrics, and how you've tried to
right,
incorporate that into your own songwriting. So
right.
how does one go about that? Is it just, you know,
It's
does it just flow out,
it,
or do you actually sit and think, I'm
it,
gonna have a
it, it
fun
kind
turn of phrase here?
it kind of just comes out, man. It goes both ways, I guess, but it kind of just comes out in the writing. Like once you get to a certain part, like Coffee Pot. So I'm going back some years now. This is from Evolution. That was more of a rock album, but
Hmm.
I had like 3 or 4 funk cuts on there, you know. And Coffee Pot, she's hot like a coffee pot, too hot to try it. Get your hook, you can't stop. She's hot. So that's cool. And at the beginning, I'm like, you know, I like them hot like a coffee pot, but not so hot that you get burned, you know. So it's like that. Apple pie off the latest one, like you mentioned, apple pie. Apple pie is hilarious to me, you know.
Yeah.
It could be serious, sexy, but it's funny too, because you know you're
Yeah.
saying all of these things. You know, I'm dreaming about you, can't get you off my mind. Then you know, the chorus is can't wait to taste your apple pie. It's like what?
Yeah.
And even going back to like going back to evolution again, you have a tweet becoming real serious. It's like a ballad, like a real churchy kind of vibe with me playing my horn, and do all that, and then kick it in. And I'm talking about if you're gonna tweet, you better tweet about me. So it's
Yeah.
like okay. So just little things like that, man. I talked about Paradise earlier. It's a it's a line in there that some people may or may not get. You know,
Oh.
I'm talking about get some champagne and some ripple. You know, get some bubbly and some ripple. And people don't, if you don't watch Fred Sanford, you don't know what that is. He used to call that Sham Pippa back in the
Oh.
day. So things like that. We kind of like sneak in there. So if you know, you know. If you don't, you're like, what the hell is he talking about? There's some bubbly and some ripper, bubbly and some ripper. That's called Sham Pippa. Yeah,
Okay. The
check out
little
some.
salute to Red Fox there,
Yeah, exactly,
hidden in the
exactly.
lyrics. Okay.
That's right. Yeah, so things like that, man. We just like to have fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then it seems also more than a lot of other singers and songwriters, your songs, your songwriting is influenced heavily by what you've seen people react to in a live setting.
yeah.
Songs in the Key of Funk. It's not a live album; it's a recorded album, but you can tell there's all these elements that these are just waiting to be played
Oh
live
yeah,
to have a
yeah.
call and response kind of feature.
Exactly, and that was the objective with that album, though, man. It was like, look, we're a dance band. We get out, we want people to have a good time, dance, have fun. It's a joyous occasion. So, excuse me. So we want everybody to, feel that. So that's what we brought to the table. I said, look, Evolution was kind of dark. you know, I said we had some good moments on it, but it was kind of dark. But this album and every album from here, here on out, let's have some fun. Let's make it joyful, Let's make
Mm,
happy music.
yeah.
Everything can be, happy, of course, but majority of the album I wanted to, promote positivity and having a good time, having a ball, going out in the street, going out check out live music, whatever, being with your friends and your loved ones, things like that. So that's what I'm promoting.
Hmm. And calling it Volume One suggests this is going to be a continuing theme. So, like,
Yep.
did you
yeah.
was it a case like, oh, we have more material than one album here already?
Yep.
So,
yep.
okay,
We had like 3 songs on that we didn't put on songs in the Kid Phone. So we still
okay,
have those, and I'm just like, when we gonna put it out? I'm like, I don't know.
yeah,
Let's see. But even now, like I'm like working on some other stuff now, so I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I just gotta. I mean, definitely put out some singles first though, because yeah, these songs I have right now that I'm working on, they can't wait. They gotta get out now. So I'm gonna skip volume 2 for maybe like until next year. But right now, I'm working on some other singles that's gonna get you through this time.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, without giving too much away, is it about uplifting people in this time of
Oh
of,
yeah.
of difficulty? Because
Yes.
it's I don't it's rare to call any funk song sorrowful.
Yeah. I hear you. And I hear you. Yeah, it's very uplifting. It's just addressing the times right now and just letting people know what we're going through. But at the end of the day, hold your heads up and we're all in this together.
Hmm,
Yeah.
yeah, and I don't know. I mean, have you? How has this experience changed you?
Um. Good question. I want to say it hasn't, but it has. Like I've never been an anxious person, and you know, like I said, my boy's been out of school since March 6th, and we dropped him off at school. They called us back 5 minutes later to come and get him because the school was closing. So we were like, damn. So we've been home with him since March 6th. I left. I left the next day to do a show in Beach Mountain, North Carolina. But since then, I've been at home, you know, every single day from March 6th. So just knowing that, they have, this virus going around and, it's very contagious and people are catching it left and right. Um, it's made me anxious, man. Like I've never been like that kind of dude that's like fearful and worried about what's going on out in the world or whatever the government might be telling you or whatever. But after
Mm,
like knowing people that have passed away from this virus and people and knowing people that has caught it and like recovering from it too, I'm just like, man, this is scary. This is some scary stuff. And I don't
yeah.
scare easily. But this is like it's kind of like a movie, man. Like what somebody said that meme that was saying it's like Bird Box, but they tell you don't go outside,
Right,
and they
right.
go and they go outside anyway to see what it is, and now we all not listening. We all going outside like, man, why we can't go out here? Next thing you know, your ass is
Yep.
caught the coronavirus.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but it just changed me in that way. Like it just made me more anxious, man. But even with that being said, I can sit down and still be, creative and come up with
Hmm.
some ideas and, just gotta be patient as far as like getting it out to the world.
Yeah. So being productive and immersing yourself in the music
Yeah.
has been kind of your own therapy.
Yeah, it helps tremendously, man. That
Mm.
and like days when it's nice outside, of course. We'll take my boys out for a bike ride in the neighborhood. There's a huge empty field on the corner from us that no one goes in, so we'll just take them there and let them run around. So all of that's been pretty cool.